Hello, so today we're going to talk about what gets you to the movies, what gets me to the movies, and what inspires us to give Hollywood our money. So one of at the top of my list as to what inspires me to give Hollywood my money is diversity. And diversity is the most important thing that I look for in a movie. I look for it in the posters, I look for it in the trailers, and if it's a television show, I look for it in. And why is diversity so important for me? And why is it so important to publicize diversity? Because I want humanity to feel like they matter. I want all different races, all different people to feel like they're represented because they are feeding the system. So I want them all to be equally represented in conjunction to the world. Now, a lot of people say American cinema, there's a certain level of responsibility that American cinema has to the world because we are the leading makers of movies in the world. So even within our own country, when we look at the demographics of how many different kinds of people are in our country, and we use that in order to be able to represent it in the big screen. And then when we look at the entire scope of the planet, and then we look at what impact we're going to be making on humanity, I think those are really important elements because we want the future to be inspired, to create more, to know that they matter so that they can flourish. So that's diversity, number one on my list. And content, all of that falls, in line. As long as it falls in line with diversity, then I'm there. Now, that's my top movie. Now, I'll say movies, blockbuster movies like The Avengers or Tomorrowland, where in The Avengers particularly, I did not see the, Hawk. I see Falcon. I did not see Falcon or what's his name? The other Iron Man. I forget his name, but you saw them in the trailer briefly, and then you didn't see them in the posters. And my question, are they Avengers? Were they Avengers? What happened in the movie? I don't know because I didn't want to see it because they weren't featured. So, and they weren't, there was just, to me, the movie resonated with a lack of inclusion. So the most diversity you saw was in the robots. So that's why I didn't see it. That's my personal preference because of my personal feelings. So if you saw it, kudos to you. I'm sure you had a great time, and I'm sure it's an amazing movie. And I know I'm going to go see it at the $3 theater when it comes out, but I'm not going to pay full price because it doesn't meet my personal standards of diversity. It's just that simple. And I think a lot of people are actually feeling the exact same way. So when you have movies like Tomorrowland that are reasonably new, that have a lack of diversity, and they're called Tomorrowland, it just from the trailers alone, I'm totally taken out, and I just don't want to see it because it lacks diversity for me. And it's a movie called Tomorrowland, and it's just from the trailers. I'm making a judgment call. You're right. I mean, I think that some people say, well, give the movie a chance. I'm like, if I give the movie a chance, I have to give them money. you know? So all I got to go on is a trailer. And it doesn't have diversity in the trailer, so sorry. So that's why I didn't see it, and I think that that's why a lot of people aren't seeing movies as well. You see television shows, who's succeeding, who's not succeeding, what's going on, and the climate of that particular element as well. And I think that people are becoming more empowered to have that desire to ask, to be like, to demand, basically, you are here to entertain me, so I need you to include me in the entertainment by embodying an element of myself as my culture, as my people, so that way we can feel connected and have a really amazing time. So I think that those are the things that humanity wants. Now, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it. And I think also the element of price. I think that back in the day, and I know I sound like, back in the day, I rode a bus on a charcoal truck, and then we got there, and all of a sudden there was no school, and burned it to the ground. We had to go to the other school. I don't hate sounding like that, but I'm going to say that back in the day, I used to pay, $8, $5 matinee to go see a movie. Now it's like, I don't know, $16, and then like $9 for matinee. And then the price of the food, it's like popcorn's like $1,000. I don't know. because I don't go see movies because I don't want to spend that much money on them. So I think those are both of those elements combined is when you start really seeing why are people going to see the movies and why aren't they going to go see the movies, because we're building oppositions towards them wanting to be entertained by us. So same with television shows. I think that there's several television shows that to me they show a lack of inclusion, so I just automatically close the doors. And I think even shows that have inclusion have to really step it even more up with the comedy because they're breaking ground. And I think also there's somewhat of a subliminal brainwashing of accepting these lack of diversity shows. So we as a community that want to be represented need to demand representation and give attention. For instance, Fresh Off the Boat, Blackish, amazing shows that are doing really well because people have really rallied around them and have really, pushed that element into it. Even shows like House of Cards, which a lot of you could argue has very much a lack of diversity, still has really strong characters that represent diversity. So really powerful theatrical elements that are being represented within the diversity of what's happening. So there's a lot of things that are transforming, that are growing, that are becoming more of a important element to humanity. And what are your thoughts? Let me know. Let's have a conversation. What gets you to the movies? Do you agree or do you disagree with what I'm saying? Take care, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year.